We make an electronic control device for the refrigeration industry. Our device goes onto the side of supermarket compressors, of which there are various brands and OEMs around the world, and it electronically controls the oil level in the sumps of those compressors, and it's paramount for energy consumption and for the environmental side of supermarkets.
How long have you been producing this technology?
The company's been around since 1988 and been manufacturing since inception this TraxOil product, and I've been working for the company for the last 10 years.
Well, what happened before TraxOil, I think that's the name of the product, was around?
Before the invention of the TraxOil and all electronic control devices, they used to use a mechanical float. So it was an industrial piece of mechanical cannery, and now we've moved into the new age of electronic componentry.
What was involved in bringing this product to market? Back in those days, in the late 90s.
Yes, we've come from a very manually labour-intensive process where we used to assemble these very much by hand and put all the glues and the electronics together by hand, to today where we're manufacturing on automated lines, and we're using CNC machine tools and robotics to load and unload these machines. So it's come a long way in the last 10 years. And
you've grown your customer base as well, I imagine.
Certainly customer base, and it has gone completely global now. There's not many countries around the world that doesn't use our product, and we've grown over in market strength and in number of employees, and certainly in our automation lines.
Well, how many people work for the business?
Just 10.
Just 10?
Yes, just 10, but very highly devoted people, very focused on their job, and because we're in an automation and innovations technology area, all the product we make and all the process lines that we make, we have to invent and design ourselves. So there are a great bunch of guys and ladies that work for us and that are developing the product on an ongoing basis.
Well, they say that innovation can be a long, drawn-out and expensive process, Wayne. Has that been your experience?
Very much so. Innovation and technology cost a lot of money, particularly in the manufacturing side of it. And then there's the next phase, which is the marketing side of it. It takes a long time to set up good distribution networks around the world. Developing a great workforce and a great team, also it's been long and drawn out. And then we have to be very careful about the size of our markets and how quickly we grow, and that can be as big a problem.
Is it challenging to come up with new better designs all the time?
Yes, new designs is a difficult area, because not only are we looking with technologies that are immediately in front of us, but we need to find technologies that are going to take us into 10 and 20 years, and we have to be innovative enough to preempt and find those technologies, perhaps sometimes before they're even there.
How have you managed to market what you produce, your product, overseas? Do you just have to spend a lot of time on aeroplanes?
Love aeroplanes, taxis and hotels. One of the difficulties we have found, and we now use distribution networks throughout the world, is for us to get into these markets, language barriers is one of the biggest problems. If we take Europe or Asia, where we could be talking 20 or 30 different languages, let alone dialects in some of those countries. So it's a difficult, long road, and we've chosen to use distributors. At one stage we had our own office in Kuala Lumpur in Malaysia. We've since then closed that office down because of the difficulty in dealing with different languages.
To find the right distributors, is that difficult too?
I guess we've fallen on our feet there. We actually use one distributor, and they pretty much handle the global side in Europe. We've now got a new distributor in the USA, which we're very proud of, and looking forward to working with those guys over the next few years. But it is difficult to find good, honest, quality distributors that are not there just to make a quick dollar and leave us dangling.
Well, you've obviously grown enormously in the last 10 years. How much more room is there to grow?
Potentially in the market, if we can look at taking over 100% of the mechanical float market, then we're talking about volumes anywhere, as we're doing at the moment, from 35,000 pieces per year up to 200,000 plus. To get into that mechanical float market, we have to have a more competitive product, and to do that we need to invest heavily into automation.
Now, what about patenting? Have you had copycats trying to rip off your designs?
No, never had any copycats of our product. It's an expensive process. And I can give you some figures. We spend approximately $37,000 a year, and those figures are up and down. Some are expensive years, some are cheaper years, but amortised across, we spend approximately $37,000, and in the last 7 years we've spent $263,000 on patents alone, and they protect us, certainly in all the big countries that we distribute through. The other methodology that we use for our self-preservation of our product, and that is to put technologies into there and change our technology often enough so that they can't be copied readily.
You've obviously got plenty of room to grow still. Will you still be able to do that with 10 people, or will you need to grow the business substantially more to take over more market share?
I think the number of people will be disproportionate to our automation. I think our investment in automation will be huge. I think our increased number in our personnel will be small. Remembering that we're manufacturing in Australia, a very expensive area of the world to be manufacturing because of the wonderful lifestyles that we live. But there will be need to increase in numbers of personnel, but far outweighed by the investment we need to put into automation.
Well, it's a fantastic success story, Wayne. What are you most proud of regarding the development of TraxOn, personally and professionally?
I think perhaps let me go into 4 areas. First of all, my personal private area. I've been running my second manufacturing company. I've been married for